Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Magnetic Soul podcast and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am here with a few different messages that wanted to come through. Really specifically, they wanted to share the theme of don't white knuckle the universe and how to keep your faith when your faith is being tested. We are so close to such a massive shift. And this week specifically, as we this message is going to find you whenever, but where we are in this time and space is we are in the final week of the year of the snake. And this year and the year of the horse are very significant times, which is why you're hearing about it so much more than ever, because these times are so significant. And as we close out this, this final week, I wanted to share a few different messages with you guys because we are right there. And this week is so significant. There is a really big shift happening, and I feel so much energy returning that wasn't previously there, hasn't been there. And there's really these final moments where there are a lot of really quick and clear decisions that are going to be happening, they're saying. But not only that, it's like there's new energy, there's new guides that are coming in, there's new aspects of you that are coming in. And so you may feel this shift, a really big fresh energy coming through. But I also wanted to talk a little bit about like the levels and phases of shedding, just since we're in this energy of the final shedding of the snake. We'll call it the final week. And I wanted to share a little bit about that, what I've really understood around this and my process. But I also wanted to share that a few other messages that wanted to come through, especially around needing to keep your faith, because you're right there, and needing to hold the faith and not white knuckling the universe, and, really needing to drop the conditions around certain things. And especially when things don't come in according to your time. And this is like the mental resilience that's needed when it comes to your life, when it comes to manifestation. There is a level of maturity, they're saying, that's needed right now. And so I'm going to get into that message as well, because they're saying like, when you ask for something, you don't need to keep asking for it. You need to let it go and let yourself be taken on a journey for it happening. So we're going to get into that message. I have a lot of messages that want to be shared with you, especially around what is needed as we step into this year of the horse, where 2026 energy is really going to ask you to stop hesitating. It's going to ask you to stop overthinking, and it's going to ask you to just get on with things, stepping out of your comfort zone. I'm going to talk about how uncomfortable that can be so that you can have an understanding or a greater understanding of what it's like when you're out of your comfort zone and living out of your comfort zone. I just came off of like a week of having the flu. My whole house got it. Everybody got it. There's so many different reasons why we get sick. And there's, yes, we catch a cold or whatever and somebody has it, but we don't all need to have it, right? We don't all need, because someone has a cold and then you get it, or like you don't have to get it because someone else has it. There's sometimes it's in our field and sometimes it's not. Sometimes we don't catch it and sometimes we do. And I wanted to share a little bit of a spiritual energetic insight on that, why we get the flu or why we get the cold. There's many different reasons why it can happen. Sometimes it is some weird collective energy going on that is almost like a distraction from what you need to be doing, that I'm not going to get into. But sometimes it is just our body's way of resting. Maybe you've been in forcing and pushing mode and your body is like the only way it can rest is through, or the only way you're giving yourself rest or slowing down is by catching a flu. So it's like this unconscious thing. And sometimes, quite often, which is what happened to our whole house and myself, it is this whole system upgrade. And that's what it was for me this time around. I had been kind of fighting it off for a couple months. I kept feeling something coming, and then I would take all my supplements, and I have this thing I do where I'll wake up in the night and I have my supplements beside my bed. So I'll quickly take them, and I take them throughout the night, and I find it's literally works wonders. It's like the miracle. But this time around, my daughter got it first, and I was like, nope, not going to get it, not going to get it. But then we just got it. My body surrendered to it. I'd been going through a lot of activations, spiritual upgrades, a lot of clearings. And it was like my body just needed, it was like a full system upgrade, we'll call it, because I was literally burning up for like 5 days. And it was like I was burning away all of these mental energies that were just so consuming me for a while, of these situations and things that were bothering me. And it was like my body was just burning it off. And I wanted to share that aspect of it because quite often when when we're sick, we're in a vulnerable position, we're not really thinking clearly, right? And it was like my body just needed that to finally clear out these final layers. It was like literally shedding old skins and old thoughts and old experiences. But what happens is it literally floods the system. It comes to the surface. And so you can feel all the things, you can think all the things. And sometimes you can be so stuck in it when you're not feeling well because you're already down, your vibration's already low. So the old thoughts and the things come up. And I have that awareness around it because I know that and I talk to people about that. But it is something to know that when you are not feeling well, that's when the thoughts come in. That's when the old things come up. And it can be really dysregulating. And something to kind of note about that is that it's really good to do some energy clearing around you when you are not feeling well, because it's literally your body is just burning it off. It's wanting to release and shed these old things that it can't come with you and move forward. It literally is a full system upgrade. Now, what's interesting is that after every night where I'd have these massive burning away, it was literally like an alchemical mutation where I was just like transmuting, transforming, and in this like cocoon of transformation. And I would wake up the next day and I would feel so clear. And now I'm on the other side of it, and we all kind of transmuted it pretty quickly in comparison to when I've had things like this in the past. It was pretty quick. And just the downloads that are coming through right now, the information that's coming through, I've been like channeling pages and pages. I've been, going outside and just receiving so much information. And it was like, now that I've cleared the way and now that my body's gone through this transformation, I'm now in such a clear place. Like I feel like I know the way forward. My energy feels clear. My thoughts feel clear. I'm having so many big downloads. Like I know the way forward. And so the other side to this is clarity. And so if you have ever been through anything like that, I just want to know that like in any way, I feel like, yes, for me, I've been clearing a lot of energy, and yes, I actually did get the flu and I've been burning it off, and now I feel so clear, whereas I've been kind of feeling foggy for a little while. And I just feel like energetically if you surrender to it, if you surrender to whatever is moving through you, you're going to feel so much more clear, because the other side is clarity. Okay. And sometimes when you're in the midst of a shedding, whether you get sick or whether you're just moving through something, the other side, you can see it and you can feel it and you can taste it and you know it's there. We're right there. Okay. And the other side is just so clear, and you gain a newfound sense of direction and clarity. And for me, the information coming through, just have so much more space for it. And these things that were bothering me are just not there anymore. I'm, as the words that they want to come through is becoming bigger than it and rising above the thing. Okay. And I wanted to talk a little bit about these phases of shedding, because you may wonder, why are other people feel so clear and I feel this way? And why am I moving through this shedding period and other people seem to be already beyond it? Like this comparison thing of like what other people are going through and what you're not going, all these stuff have to go, because it's literally taking up too much space in your mind. But I wanted to talk about the phases of release. So when you feel stripped, so you're feeling all the uncomfortable things. Maybe you're feeling things being stripped from you. Maybe things that you have held on to as a safety mechanism, as a survival mechanism, even if they hurt you, even if they're limiting beliefs. There's a part of you that has felt safe from that. It has been your lens. It's been your filter. It's been the mask in the way that you view the world around you. These are coming off and being stripped. And when that is gone, when the lesson of it, when the filter is gone, it can feel very much like you've been stripped from something. Okay. These old layers that you've held on to have been stripped. It's a very vulnerable place to be in. And that's why I'm talking about this today, because you want to be out of your comfort zone. But being out of your comfort zone is not really always comfortable. It can be very vulnerable because you're not quite used to being in that new energy, even though it's where your soul knows it's meant to be. You're meant to be in that new place, in that bigger field, in that bigger playing field. But when you feel stripped down, so if we're in the shedding and the release, it's a very vulnerable place because old stuff is coming up. Stuff that maybe has been from lifetimes is coming up that you've held on to. And after this storm passes, like once this storm passes, before the clarity returns, it can feel quite dysregulating, where you feel stripped, where you feel very vulnerable, where you don't quite feel strong in who you are yet. In this new identity, it's not quite fully formed. But once you kind of keep going, and that's when you really want to nurture yourself. That's when you want to really dial in on self-love and self-care and tuning out the outside noise for a little bit and really getting to the truth in the core of who you are, getting to the core of who you truly are and loving that part of you. Because once that energy passes, there's just clarity and power returns and a level of self-belief that will return to you. So if you've been feeling like you either are in the process of releasing something, I also feel like you've just released it. So there's something that you've just released that has been something that has really held you there, that has kept you safe for a long time. It can feel uncomfortable for a little bit, but there is a whole new sense of clarity and power that is returning. So there is different levels and phases of the shedding process. There's the feeling it and going through it and the in it. There's the aspect of where you feel stripped and vulnerable and uncomfortable. And then there's the other side, the sweet side of it, where you know you can feel it, you know it's there because maybe you've been through that before, where you know on the other side is like you're right there and that belief and that thing clicks into place and the clarity and the power returns and the momentum and the belief and the motivation returns. And it's like you're in a new energy, and you can go from the way things are happening right now is that you can literally going from being in that release phase, the stripping down, the shedding of the old skin phase, and you can switch like a flips, like literally they're saying this week specifically is this flip of the switch, where you flip the switch and it's like, whoa, and you're on the other side. And we are crossing that threshold. We are crossing that finish line right now. So I feel like this message they're showing me is like there's some switches that are flipping on. And when these switches flip on, there's no returning. There's no turning off that switch, okay? The light is turning on, and your magnetism is turning on, and your knowing and your truth and this part of you that you've been wanting to come in is coming in. And when that switch flips, it is this momentum. It's the horse energy that we're talking about. It is the new year energy. And so I really feel like this switch is going to be turned on. So if, I feel like they keep showing me a switch turning on. a switch when it comes to your manifestations, when it comes to your gifts, when it comes to your light, when it comes to things that you, I don't know, just some kind of like power is being switched on right now. Whenever you find this message, your soul is flipping the switch and we are literally crossing the threshold. And so I feel like for some of you who everybody's going to be, flipping that switch and going through the release and shedding phase at different times. Okay. So honor your process and don't compare yourself to wherever anyone else may be, because you also don't know where people are. Okay. So honor your process, be where you are. But some of you really need to hold the faith and stop white-knuckling the universe. Okay. Your soul is in charge. Your soul is guiding you. Your soul knows the way. There are these new guides that are coming through that maybe you've had touch points with and then they've been gone, or, you've had moments of momentum, but that is all, it's all really coming forward. Okay. So there's a need to keep your faith when your faith is being tested. We are moving into this higher jet stream. Okay. There's a new frequency stream that we're going to be riding. And I feel like that message came through in the February energy update. And I feel like it's very true for right now. Some of you might already be feeling this, but we need to release our conditions, our limitations around how things can happen. We need to release the grip holds that we have on things needing to happen by this time, in this place, in this moment. We need to let that go. The more that you can let go of your rigid timelines around things can happen, the less disappointed you're going to feel. And it's not to say that things aren't going to happen by that moment, but it's just there's a need to let go of the need to future predict when something's going to happen, or conditions around how things can happen right now. So dropping the condition, because it's very immature, to be honest. That's what they're saying. I'm the messenger. I'll take that on. I'm the messenger. But like, it's kind of immature to be like, it reminds me of, I have young children. It reminds me of when I have to hold a boundary and I have to say no to something, even if I could give it to them at that point, right? But sometimes as a parent, you have to hold a boundary and you have to say no. And the person might not love that. The child might not love that. Okay. But that is like kind of where it feels like, that pushy energy where you have to drop the conditions around the universe and the tantrums that happen if your desires don't manifest according to your timeline. Okay. It doesn't mean that you're not ready. It doesn't mean anything. You need to drop the story, the condition around it. It just means that there is a timing to it and that you are in the path of that happening at the perfect moment. And if your desires, if what you want involve other people, that is another factor that you want to consider when it comes to timing. A lot of people are trying to manifest love or different people or situations. And there's a need to surrender right now. You can't control other people. You can't control the way people think about you. You can't control other people. You have to let go of the things that you cannot control and work with what is in your control. You have to work with what is within your control and surrender the rest. Okay. So stop placing deadlines and conditions on the universe when it comes to manifestations. And if your desires don't arrive exactly when you want it to happen, when your human wants it to happen, can you trust that there's a better timing, or that something even better is on its way, and that the universe, your higher self, your guides have your back, and in fact are currently guiding you to become the person to have that thing. And you are on a journey, and that they are really have your back and they are supporting you and they're orchestrating it for you. You're not meant to always know when things are supposed to happen. And there is an element of surprise to what you want. And I feel like you need to let go of control, because your control is you trying to figure out when. It's you trying to push things to happen according to a certain time. This needs to happen according to the perfect moment. And if there's anything that you've ever experienced, you will know why things happen the way they do. And you are actually in the process of discovering your unique manifestation process. Not the step-by-step process that you're learning from everybody else, but your actual unique process that in the way it happens for you. So take note of that. Take note of everything that comes up right before you're about to break through or right before you receive a manifestation. Okay. It's not like a give up moment because your manifestation didn't arrive on the January 1st or whatever you want to say. It's like you have to trust that you are on the path of that thing happening, and it's actually likely going to happen in the perfect moment, and it's going to happen at the right place, the right time when it's meant to happen. And it's also maybe means that something better, even better, is going to come from it. So if you feel like your faith is being tested, that often happens right before we are breaking through. Okay, so we have to let go of, yes, it is, they're saying, yes, have like a date you want to see things happen. That's beautiful. But if it doesn't meet your mark, don't give up. Don't go into a spiral. Don't just throw it away because it didn't happen according to when you needed it to happen by. Can you meet that date with love and be open? And your mental resilience and focus is needed with this. So can you be open and go, okay, I'm going to open up to a better timing. I'm going to keep the faith. I'm going to know that this could happen tomorrow. Your ideas, your results, the things you want can drop in out of thin air. Okay. These can happen. Everything can shift tomorrow. You can wake up with an amazing new idea randomly, right? Tomorrow. And that is kind of the energy that you want to be in, is this openness, not this rigid, can only happen at this time with this person, with this thing. We have to let that go. Okay. You show up and you're not in charge of how the universe delivers the thing to you. So you may think that it can only happen in this one way when there's a whole other portal of possibility that is opening. Okay. That your guides are opening you up to. Okay. So sometimes the universe works through other people. And sometimes it is like you think that maybe an opportunity is going to come from this thing or this person or this experience, when really it is like God is in charge here. The universe is in charge. Okay. So it is the act of you showing up to something. It doesn't mean it's going to work out from this specific thing, but it's really like you stepped up to the plate. Now the universe can work its way through in so many different ways. Okay. Not just in this one rigid way. There's actually a whole spectrum of ways this can happen. And this is why openness and mental resilience and focus is really needed right now. So don't quit right before the miracle. Sometimes we are tested. The universe tests you right before a breakthrough. And if your desires don't manifest according to a specific date that you decided, do you give up? Do you collapse into hopelessness? Do you go into victim mode? Notice that. Like what is your pattern when something doesn't arrive on the perfect timing? Or if something's taking a little longer than you thought it would be, is that when you go into give up mode? Because that's not where you are needed in this. That's not what creates the big manifestations. Your soul, there's a greater maturity needed, and that is where your soul goes, okay, there's a better plan. I'm going to surrender to the better plan. I'm going to surrender to the perfect moment and the perfect time. And I'm going to trust that my soul is leading me there and that everything is transpiring in the perfect moment. And if there is a feeling of pause, there's a reason for that. And you can trust that. So the soul knows. So can you step in, out of this limited way of being in the box and white-knuckling and grip holding and needing to happen? And can you soften your grip and loosen up a little bit and open up? Because when we are in rigid mode, when we're in our mind, when we are kind of stuck in it being in a certain way, that means we're just not open. We're not open to the limitless ways that it wants to come in. So when you are in that mode and your energy field really literally closes up, when you want to be open to the limitless ways that it can come in. So when you are open, when you take a deep breath and you just keep remaining open, that is when the ideas can come in. But your $1 million idea is not going to come in when you are in hopelessness, when you are giving up, when you are, going into a tantrum about your desires not manifesting. And yeah, we all go through that. So it's normal. Everybody goes through it, but you got to come out of it, because that is where the solution wants to appear for you. That's where the $1 million idea is going to come in. So trust that it's on its way. If it doesn't happen in the perfect time that you think it is happening in the perfect way, and that the universe has a better plan, and that resilience is needed, and to keep going. And you will know, because it will all make sense. You will know why it couldn't happen sooner, because you maybe weren't ready, or just there's a better plan, there's a better timing. And that possibly right now, these moments are the path to you becoming an energetic match to the version who has that. So can you become that now? Can you tap into that future energy now, so that we can close the gap on? Just keep going if you feel like you missed a deadline, and rather be open to the perfect time. So when you order a package, do you keep checking when it's going to arrive? Or do you just know that it's going to arrive because you ordered it and you know it's on its way, and you don't have to keep checking for when it's going to arrive? You can just forget about it and move on to the next, because in this new energy, and as a leader in this new energy, you just want to kind of keep moving on, keep moving forward, keep moving on to the next. We don't want to linger in things for too long. We don't want to hesitate. There's no more hesitation. There's no more overthinking the should I or shouldn't I. It's just moving forward. It's no more hesitation. It's don't think, just do. What would that be like if you'd adopted that mindset? If you I'm just not going to think about it, I'm just going to do it. And that is an advice I gave to someone recently who said they wanted to share their gifts. And I said, all right, my biggest advice for you, don't think, just do it. Just do it. And don't overthink it. Just be yourself and just do it. Great. Go for it. What are you waiting for? That's kind of the energy that you want to be in as we're moving onward this year. So let yourself loosen the grip. Let yourself be guided on a journey. You might pick up the right book at the right time. You might be guided to the right thing, or the right situation, the right place at the right time. Let yourself be on a journey. Let it be a surprise. Everything is aligning in the perfect moment for you. You don't want to pick the fruit before it's ripe, because it won't be ready. You don't need to keep asking for the same thing. You need to just let it go and trust that you're currently on the path to becoming it. The path is already setting in motion. You've already set things in motion, and it can literally drop in out of thin air. It can literally drop in at any moment. You could literally wake up tomorrow with a new idea, with a new, fresh perspective. You might feel completely different from one day to the next. And this is where we're really stepping into in this new way. So this is where you're going to want to be out of your comfort zone. You're going to want to be that little fish in a big pond, so to say. That's where you want to be, and you want to get used to being in that bigger energy. You want to rise above, because is it really out of your comfort zone, or are you just ready? And I've said that many different podcasts, but it's important that you hear it more than once. What if out of your comfort zone was really just readiness, like you're ready? So it wasn't really out of your comfort zone because you were ready, and you've evolved and you've shifted and you've cleared and you've released to become that version right now. So remember, anytime that you may feel not ready or insignificant in any way, I want you to remember that your soul came in here to do it. Your soul has done this likely in many other lifetimes, what you're wanting to step into now, what you're stepping into now, and that you're more ready than you think. And now is the time. So, really needing to reassess your comfort zone, because you're opening up to a whole new set of possibilities. And remember that your soul is well equipped for it. So remember that whenever you feel discomfort or vulnerable, because when you are out of your comfort zone and doing things that are out of your comfort zone, you're going to feel vulnerable. It's not going to always feel uncomfortable. You might go through an ego death. And so, but can you nurture yourself through that? Can you keep expanding your field and holding your field to claim this space? Because you are meant to be in this new space. You are meant to be here. So claim your space and step in, because it's time to be all that you are meant to be, and you are more ready than you think. I just want to share a finish off message that you are so nearly about to pop up for air. And they're saying, dearest ones, the door is wide open and energetically you are walking through it. How we love you so much and honor the process it has been to energetically and physically be willing to release what is no longer for you, what has been too heavy on your soul. Many of you have moved through deep karmic patterns and releases to release for your ancestors, and your ancestors are highly protective and guiding you through this doorway. It is as if they are opening up the door for you, holding it open and saying go. Stop worrying about what other people are thinking, what other people are doing, what other people have done, and finally take this time to focus on you. Don't worry about who or who will not be on this ride with you, but you are stepping into the ride of a lifetime. So, dearest ones, it is time to fly. The energy of change is all around you, and we are holding open the space for you to walk through. So take a deep breath, rub your hands together, and take a big leap. Take a chance on yourself. Bet on yourself and believe in yourself. If no one else is around you, be your own cheerleader, because that is all that really truly matters. As you get swept up in the higher current, it is taking you to new places, to new levels. So let yourself be swept up into the new levels and places and energies that are here for you. Knowing you are well equipped and so deeply supported and taken care of in this new energy. It may seem strange and unknown at times, but take a deep breath knowing that within your heart, you know exactly what is happening. And you, dearest ones, have been preparing for this for lifetimes. You knew at this time and space that you would be stepping into a far greater role. And you may have felt like it has taken you so long to get here, but you are here. Recognize that it couldn't have happened earlier because you had to be in this place, and the earth had to be in this place, in this perfect moment. The earth had to be ready for this perfect moment to receive and to recognize your frequency and your gifts. It is time to dance with the universe, to ask and state your claims and be open to receiving it, to being open to being all that you can be and all that you've ever been. And remember who you truly are, dearest ones. You are a master manifester, and you're ready for this greater role that you came here for. And you have been chosen, and it has chosen you. You are so ready. You are so ready. You are so ready. So with that, I will leave you with that, and I hope you enjoyed this. And if you could comment, subscribe, share with a friend, whoever needs this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Speak to you in the next.